What's up, Fortnite fans? In this video today, we will be discussing how to have better positioning in Fortnite. This video will be one of the most important videos I make on my channel because this is a huge tip that can turn an average player into a pro player. We're going to be talking about what good positioning actually means, how to always have good positioning, and what to do if you don't have good positioning. The gameplay in the background is a 17 kill solo win. Make sure you watch until the very end because positioning is actually how I got this win. Without further hesitation, let's get right into the video. Let's start the video off by explaining what good positioning actually means. Good positioning is the best spots and locations to be at when you're in a fight with your opponent. For example, if you're in a house and you're fighting someone who has a pump shotgun, but you also have a pump shotgun, you can get the right side peek and utilize your third person view to your advantage to get a headshot with your shotgun and ultimately kill your opponent. Another good example of great positioning is taking control of natural high ground before your opponents can take that high ground. Now, of course, great positioning doesn't always involve high ground though. For example, if you're in a fight and your opponents are really high above you, you can shoot their build out. Or if the circle is moving away from the fight, you can reset yourself and rotate towards the next zone and build up and retake that height advantage that is critical in most fights in Fortnite. I'll have to be honest though, recently I've been playing low ground instead of high ground and build fighting with my opponents significantly less. I practice playing low ground more than I practice playing high ground because low ground takes a lot of work to be good at and high ground is significantly easier. You can have low ground and still have good positioning on your opponents. For example, if you're turtled in a 1x1 and your opponent will not stop breaking your walls with their harvesting tool, you're actually in a good position. The reason for this is because oftentimes players get so determined to break and replace that wall that oftentimes they don't realize they can get edited out on, and a quick shotgun shot that stuns them and then a quick roof edit and retake the high ground that way is a huge play, and that is why I believe playing low ground can actually ultimately be the best position to be in sometimes. Good positioning can be achieved through slowing the game down in your head and utilizing cover, as well as the building mechanics in the game to give yourself good positioning. Good positioning can be a player's blind spot where they don't see you and you see them and you can pop off a couple rounds at them. Good positioning can also be coming in from behind a player and taking them out, or even just claiming natural high ground to dictate the fight from that point forward. When I'm in any game, typically what I do before I engage in any fight is start by taking natural high ground and the best positions before I even get into a fight with anyone. The reason for this is because if I do get shot at by an opponent, just by them shooting at me alone gives me the advantage and gives them the disadvantage, which is why I can't stress to you guys enough that taking a shot against someone who's on natural high ground is actually a pretty bad idea. You can sneak up from behind them and maneuver your way to be in a good position before taking that fight so that either you guys are completely neutral with positioning and advantage over one another, or you can automatically start with multiple advantages. Use your map to your advantage to keep yourself from losing good positioning and finding the best position. The best position typically means high ground as well as an ability to rotate to the next zone. You don't want to put yourself into a situation where it will be extremely hard to rotate from the position you're in currently. Now, what proves the good players from the bad players is getting themselves out of terrible looking situations and coming out successful by fighting for a good situation. A common question I get on my channel is, what do you do if you don't have good positioning? If you don't have good positioning, obviously you're going to want to start by getting yourself good positioning, but typically the first thing I'll do is I stop to analyze my scenario. Even if I'm being shot at, I'll take a second to pause and think about my next move. Even if you have to run away and reset yourself and take over good position against your opponents, that's ultimately the better decision than dying and being kicked back into the lobby and searching for another match. I hope after watching this video, you guys dropped 20 bombs just by getting good at practicing good positioning. Be sure to use my creator code YTVRebus at checkout, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.